Have you ever felt like you sold out or compromised your integrity for a sponsorship deal? Like,
no, but I'll tell you the kind of an answer to that question.
All right, sorry, Joshua, I'm sorry. Like you weren't like I wasn't showing your camera. Can you please say no directly, like in the camera, so people can judge if they believe you or
no? Okay, ask me the question
again. All right, Neil, can you read the question again? This is like we're gonna see his reaction.
Mr. Bardwell, have you ever felt like you sold out or compromised your integrity for a sponsorship deal?
No. No. Here's so two parts to this answer. The first part is that people really overestimate how valuable sponsorships are to me. I don't mean to disparage the companies that I work with. It is valuable to work with companies. Some companies very valuable just to sort of be sort of in their stable, get access to early, like if somebody is in DJI's good graces, they get early access to these products that are going to be really freaking hot, and they get a day one release and they get a shitload of views. That's valuable. The DJI sends you a $300 camera though. The $300 camera, it's $300. That's not very meaningful in the big scheme of things in terms of like running a YouTube channel with 300,000 subscribers. Let's put it that way. Obviously, to a lot of people in the world, $300 is a lot of money. But once you have a YouTube channel with 300,000 subscribers, a $300 product is not even remotely tempting it to make you compromise your integrity, because the value of your channel is in your integrity and your viewers' perception of your integrity. If that goes down, you lose everything. It's you killing the goose that laid the golden egg. So it doesn't even if I were completely motivated by money, it wouldn't make economic sense for me to shill my integrity for like a 300 or even a 500.
Well, what if like Get FPV gives you like $5,000 a month? I don't know, and then like
So here's the next I wish also, first of all.
Yeah.
So the next thing is, what about affiliate sales? So that's the first thing I want to get out is people say, oh, you got the quad for free and then you reviewed it. I'm like, it's a $200 quad. I don't give a fuck about a $200 quad that I got for free. If I wanted to review it, I would just spend $200 of my company's money and I would buy it and I would review it and then I would sell it or give it away. So that's just completely off base. So the affiliate sales are a much bigger chunk of my overall income. So
is the biggest you said?
Much bigger, not the biggest. And the way that I have sort of tried to balance that is that I have affiliates with as many stores as I can. So there's never a incentive to be nice to one particular store and put them over another. It's just all sort of out there. I just put all the links out there and people can pick and choose which one they want. So that's how I take that. But that's a little more like a little more. But again, you just have to have integrity and believe that your viewers' perception of your integrity is more valuable than anything else. And also just have integrity. The place where I have compromised my values in the past is when I have felt pressure to get a video out before it was ready. So either it's a product release and I'm running behind and the product comes out on such and such a day, and either I've committed to that day and don't want to slip that commitment, or it's a big product release and it's very important to me to be there on day one. And I release the video with something missing or a mistake in it. And later I'm like, I either I kind of knew that mistake was there, or I should have known, but I was in a hurry. And so the times when I've sort of compromised my own values and not risen to my own standard, it's not about money, but it's about, well, I guess in a way it's about money because the views turn into money, but mostly it's about, wanting to get a video out before it's ready.
So you want us to believe that this guy doesn't care about money?
Well, I didn't say I don't care about money.
It just says money on his face.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the business of Bardwell. You know, you talked a bit about affiliate sales being some portion, or affiliate link, you know, income being a portion of your sales. You've got some income coming in from like just YouTube views. And, you know, we're just like, and Mr. Vaughn wrote it right here, and I can tell that he wrote it because it says, how rich are you exactly? How rich
am I exactly?
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer that question. I mean, I'm gonna not going to release.
I guess like the question, like the way I like to judge without disclosing, you know, the bank account value and all this stuff, and like most of the people you know, they're like more rich than you or less rich than you.
I don't really like to hang out with people. I wouldn't say that I know very many people.
All right,
it's hard for me to judge. It's hard because like I have income from the YouTube channel. And I have a lot of expenses. So I have a full-time editor who basically is just on salary. I have other people. I am in a position where I have some money coming in because of my channel. And I try to make sure that I don't take advantage of people who are not in that position. So like if I were to do a collab with a big YouTuber, like I got to meet Potato Jet at Rampage. He has over 1 million subscribers. Like I wouldn't feel bad if he did some work for me and I didn't like pay him for it. Cause like we're both, I wouldn't say we're peers, but like I always try to make sure that I pay people when they do work for me or they help the channel in any way. So like there's money coming in, but there's money going out to products and so forth, business expenses and so forth. I'm able to keep paying my bills. I'm happy about that.
Good.
All right. Well, so because I need to be a bad cop, so without disclosing any actual values. So let's say like this. So if for some reason, I don't know, like your income cuts by half, do you at this point would you have to get a job? Like,
so if my YouTube income cut by half, I certainly would have to, like the last employee who's going to go. Actually, I guess he's the only one, like he's still technically a contractor, but he's the only person who works for me who like I kind of think of like a full-time employee. But he'd be the last one to go because the minute I start having to edit my own videos again, it's going to be so much time. But if my income cut by half, I'm not sure I could keep him. And what I would have to do is find other ways to make money.
All right.
Like hopefully still in the FPV space. But I still want to keep the channel going. Like I have stuff that I do on the side that's interesting and that, you know, supplements the incoming money. But the YouTube channel, like to me, is I like it. I enjoy it. And it's really valuable in that, you know, it sort of keeps me in touch with a lot of stuff in FPV that I maybe wouldn't be in touch with otherwise, and people.
All right. Well, Mr. Chris says in the super chat, how come no one has made a DJI 03 V2 Vista firmware compatibility table? All reviewers just describe what's compatible. I want a JB style Excel table. Like,
yeah, well, no, I made that. Did
you make? All right. Cool. Well, Mr. Chris, thanks for $20 super chat, but Joshua Bardwell covered you. So we're good.
It's done.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm trying to. I have to find it. V2 goggles won't bind to Vista VTX. No.
Well, this is like live Bardwell for real. Look at this.
So it's the video where the 0101 firmware first came out and the Vista got compatibility with the G2.
Like, I'm not even sure what's the problem here. I thought they're all compatible, but no, like V2 Vista, like if you have Vista, you can still bind it with any goggles, right? Like or
no, because if you flash the firmware 01010000, it'll bind to the Integra and the G2, but not the V2. And if you're on firmware 0608, it'll bind to the V2, but not the G2 and the Integra. So what people do is that's the short version.
Yeah, like look at that. Neil is so hot. You just know that.
It's affected so many people. I've had to type that answer so many times. That's why I will never shut down my channel, because the reason I know that is because I've typed that email 50 times and that's what the real value of the channel is to me. Obviously, also, you know, it's fun and so forth, and it makes money, but having people email me questions, and then I learn things about what's going wrong and what people are having trouble with is so valuable.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess if you really think about it, you help keep people, not only get people in the hobby, right? Because like a lot of your viewers are new to the hobby and learning how to set stuff up. But where, you know, I've been flying for 10 years, and where I find myself on my way to your channel is when I'm really struggling with something weird, and like, and then you're saving me from some real frustration there. And like, so I think just as much as you've brought people into the hobby, like you've kept people in the hobby by providing that crucial piece of information that got somebody back in the air. Because sometimes it's just as simple as a freaking checkbox that you just didn't have that one. But like, until you are told that, you'll never find that checkbox. And so, I mean, I just think to think about that real value is like, that's something
now
really
let's see how Joshua Bardwell receiving compliments.
It means, no, it means a lot. Like, the thing that I value most about my job is the ability to help people. And it's not magnanimous. I'm just deeply, deeply insecure. So when people ask me questions and then I can help them and answer the question, it you know, it feeds my ego, but also soothes my insecurity that, oh, look, I'm valuable, I'm helping people. But it does mean that there's a lot of people out there who have positive sentiment toward me and feel like I've helped them. And that's like, I like to imagine someday I'm going to die, and then a whole bunch of strangers will show up at my funeral and tell my wife how much I meant to them. And that, I feel good about that.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean,
yeah, honestly,
like,
I think like
a real thing.
Bardwell, I think like you're also a person like why I started like doing coding for Betaflight. First of all, you taught me a lot about Betaflights, because you know, I knew about PIDs and stuff, but then you taught me all of the other stuff. Like I was watching a lot of your videos to learn about anti-gravity, you know, all of this stuff. And then at some point I was watching your video and like, yeah, like I think I can fix it. I don't remember what was that, but like you are certainly guilty for that. So
thank you. I actually, I'll tell you this. I don't say this out loud because I'm not sure it's actually right and it sounds egotistical, but I'll tell you, I secretly think that I invented anti-gravity.
All right.
I remember, and this absolutely did happen. I was having a conversation. It must have been, I don't know where it was. It must have been in a Slack channel, maybe way back when. I was talking with Boris, and I was talking about the problem where when you punch the throttle, the nose dips.
Yeah.
And I said, what if when the throttle was moving, you boosted the eye gain? Now, I promise you that conversation happened. And in the next version of Betaflight, anti-gravity was in there. Now, probably they were already thinking of that. But in my mind, anti-gravity is the feature that I contributed to Betaflight.